We're now going to give you some really solid information when it comes to planning. So, Tommy, I mean, again, there's a lot of decisions when it comes to filing for your benefit. We obviously just talked about that. But, I mean, what do you think one of the biggest questions people have when it comes to Social Security in terms of planning that you hear?
That I hear, it's either, should I not claim early, or how long should I delay? And it's, right. There's an infinite number, not infinite. There's a vast number of combinations you can claim at any age and months, but finding kind of a balance at just different target dates may make sense just to guide the planning process.
Right, because again, I think like we talked about earlier, I mean, boy, would I love to see those higher numbers in terms of that retirement, because you said something that really hit home, right? Because people hear on the radio or whatever, you got to have $1 million to retire. Well, that's not necessarily true. It comes down to how much money do you need to maintain your lifestyle. Right.
And a lot of people are looking at a combination of Social Security and account withdrawals, if right. It's IRA or other types of accounts they have. But, mentally it's hard to get from saving to just taking a large distribution every year.
With them.
Yeah, it messes with you. And so it's, if you can find an income number that makes sense, but it's also not restricting what you want to do in retirement.
Sure.
That's kind of the happy medium in there.
So let's talk about this. Okay, here we go. So in this example, we're going to follow along with this married couple. It's John and Jane Smith.
Pretty generic.
Pretty generic. But kind of, in terms of, it gives them a scenario of what we look at when we're meeting with people. So here we got John. John's 61 years old, okay? Jane's 59. And they're looking at retirement planning. They're saying, hey, when can I retire? So the first thing we want to know is what is your full retirement age? So John brings in his statement, and his full retirement age is $3,400 in terms of what he's going to get at his FRA. For Jane, hers is $2,500. Okay, well, why is it lower? Well, she had the toughest job of all. She was raising kids. So now that we know that, we need to input some assumptions, right? Because we got to put something in there. In this case, we're going to show a 2% inflation. And life expectancy, we're going to show John living to age 88 and Jane living to age 92. And again, I hope they live longer than that, but I got to put something in there. So Tommy, once we put this in, our analysis will spit out this report. So let's dive into the first one.
First two options that come out of the report are the earliest claiming option and the latest claiming option. So in the earliest claiming option, they both file at 62. John will be making $2,394 a month. Jane will make $1,795 a month.
Right.
Total, the present value of lifetime benefits, so discounted by that 2% inflation, the COLA you mentioned.
Yep.
The cost of living adjustment. The expected lifetime value of that is $1,417,183.
In change.
In change.
Okay, so but that's good to show people, because again, it's not just the dollar amount that they're going to receive today. It's also, what are you going to receive over your lifetime? If I had a crystal ball, I could tell you exactly when to file for your Social Security benefit, but we don't know that. And so in this example, if they live to these ages, this is what you're looking at for benefits. Okay, we know that now. Now that may not make sense for everybody to file right away at 62, but let's just show on the very far end of delaying their benefit completely.
So if they both delay to age 70, we talked about the delayed retirement credits after full retirement age. John's benefit will be $4,939, and Jane's benefit will be $3,704.
Yeah, great benefit.
The numbers sound nice, but they've also waited an extra 8 years to get from
you gotta wait to get it.
62 to 70.
Now, what's their lifetime benefit on this?
Yeah, the expected lifetime benefit of this is $1,769,000 and change.
And change. That's a pretty sizable difference between the two, right? I mean, you're looking at, in terms of what's at stake, in terms of a decision, right? That's a $351,000 plus decision that these people need to make. I mean, think about that, because if you take it early versus delaying, you're leaving $351,000 on the table if you took it early.
If
If I get it, yep.
If you make it to kind of the stated life expectancies in these assumptions. And that's kind of always the wild card. Typically, your break evens across a number of different strategies end up in the late 70s to early 80s.
Right.
To where claiming early, I guess, or exceeds claiming later, and then they catch up late 70s, early 80s.
Yep.
You know, the life expectancy does make a big difference in these assumptions.
Oh, huge.
So if there's, you know, concerns about not making it to a certain age, or there's, you know, a belief of longevity, you know, assumptions can change in there.
Well, and that's the thing. We got to show something, right? We got to show something. So, but here's the thing. You know, it's nice to show filing right away versus delaying fully because it gives us those two numbers. But guess what? That doesn't fit everybody. Because again, we just talked about it. If I encourage somebody to delay, in my opinion, I better have a darn good reason why.